we've got the number at 1.77. So that clearly is a much lower number than what any of the polls threw up. Even in my entire poll, the lowest number I got was 1.8, 1.83, with the higher level being 2.3%. But 1.77 clearly indicates that there must have been a fairly steep fall. Food price inflation has come in at 2.7%. Now that's a seminal fall from the I think 3.52% that was recorded in September. So food price index at 2.7% is definitely contributing seminally to the higher than expected fall. The August inflation has been revised to 3.85 from 3.74. That's a 10 basis point increase. Not much at all. Fuel price index, more important, that's up just 0.4% versus versus the September number. I think September number was 1.33 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, September was 1.33. The fuel inflation has gone up only by 0.4. We must remember that we are comparing September to September and October to October, and last year same time all those fuel price 50 paise increase had started, and that is why you have a base effect which makes the fuel price look muted. As well, we had the diesel price cut as well, and that's giving fuel inflation absolutely a very benign impact on the WPI as a whole. This is a damn good number that we are getting, 1.77. This must be some kind of a multi-year low. Even that number of 2.38 was a 5-year low. 1.77 could well be some probably 6-year low or maybe even 5-year low, because I think in 2008 we saw numbers going into negative after Lehman. So perhaps it will remain a 5-year low. In any case, a very good number. Is Aditi Nair with us finally? All right, Aditi and Vivek Rajpal of Nomura are also with us. Aditi, how do you react to this 1.77? Do you think now the Reserve Bank will have any second thoughts about December 2nd?
Lata, I had forecast overall WPI to come in at around 2.1%, and that had factored in a very flat food inflation number. So the 1.8 that you're mentioning is pretty much lower than my expectation, because food prices, the inflation has fallen faster than I expected. So my guess is that core is possibly still pretty flat compared to last month, not a huge change. So in that sense, at least despite the fact that we have had this commodity price fall, etc., if core inflation is pretty flat, I mean, that's still something we need to remember is not a big positive change as compared to last month. So we are still remaining, where we were on that. In any case, I think the RBI has made it very clear that they're looking at CPI and not WPI. So as far as the nominal anchor having been set at CPI, WPI in that sense really does not have that much value in terms of looking at the monetary policy decisions. And for households, I mean, as we've been talking about over the course of this year, ever since the CPI was announced as the nominal target, for households, the WPI really doesn't matter. I mean, what matters to them is going to be the CPI, the basic elements of food, clothing and housing. Yeah. And I think the RBI clearly wants to target inflationary expectations in a very sustainable and durable manner.
No, I agree with you, because we had even Deepak Mohanty saying closely on the heels of Mr. H.R. Khan that the RBI is looking at inflationary expectations and they are still very sticky. And of course, we had Khan saying that it is too early to celebrate. But both those numbers came before that 5.5 CPI and now 1.77 on the WPI. I mean, I'm still savoring the number and enjoying it. I'll just read out what fell, what the manufactured index looks like. The overall manufactured products index is risen by 2.43%. And I think that will compare with 3.88 last month. So there has been a severe fall even in the manufactured products, and I would assume therefore in the core index as well. I think last month's score was 2.8%, and we might perhaps get a number even lower than that. Last month was 2.81%, and therefore, non-food articles inflation is at minus 1.41. What is this deflation we are talking about? This is worrisome if it is actually a fall of minus 1.4. Well, Vivek Rajpal, your thoughts? how will the bond market is not reacting too much. We'll just pull up the bond prices for you. We saw them jump considerably even after a very good inflation number. I mean, the bond yields jump, not much reaction. How do you think the bond markets will read this number in terms of RBI action?
So in terms of bond market reaction, the muted reaction is again a reflection of the fact that market has shifted its focus from WPI to CPI, which is something which RBI looks at. And in a way, what we are seeing in WPI is kind of reinforces what we are also seeing in CPI, that India is in a gradual, or rather India is in a disinflation trend. But WPI with RBI targeting CPI, I don't think market will be too keen on jumping the gun that lower than expected WPI will result in any immediate monetary easing.
Okay. Where are you seeing the bond yields itself? 8.21 after two good numbers?
So I think longer end bond yields will continue to rally. In fact, I expect a 10-year bond to touch 8% probably relatively soon, probably by Jan or so, and which will be a reflection of the disinflation trend. However, I think it's the flattening of the yield curve which will persist, because RBI will continue to lag the market expectations.
Okay, Gaurav, coming back to you as well, what's your take on this number, and what do you make of the non-food inflation coming in at negative 1.4?
Well, the number is clearly lower than 2%, lower than expectations. Essentially, the process of disinflation or inflation momentum kind of losing steam continues. Without looking at the numbers, really, I can't say much, but in terms of non-food articles having fallen into the negative, it could be on account of base effect, or it could also be the fact that the non-food articles actually is the globally commodity prices, even agricultural commodity prices, have come down quite sharply. So it could be a reflection of that as well. And let's not forget, on the whole, economic activity has in Q2 has been on a slower side. I mean, clearly from 5.7% growth in the first quarter, all the numbers have pointed towards almost, if not more, but at least another 0.5 to 0.7% lower growth in Q2. Be it Q2 corporate earnings or the IIP numbers. So essentially, I think slow demand is also to be is reflecting here. So I would take this number with a bit of with a bit of reservation, because base effectors can throw things notoriously.
Okay. It's not just base. Gaurav, I can read out to you the month-on-month numbers, and as you correctly guessed, I think the core inflation, and core inflation is important, mind you, just a word to people who wouldn't like this kind of jargon. This is referring to the manufacturing inflation. Now, the entire inflation basket is divided into food, fuel and manufactured products. Manufactured products is the biggest part of the WPI. It has a 63% weight. Now, within that, there are some manufactured food products like sugar, edible oils. They go through some kind of refinement. If you take off those, and even for that matter, beverages and tobacco, if you take off the food articles, then you still have about 60% of the weight contributed by pure manufactured products. And it is there that you're seeing this actual fall in prices on year-on-year levels. That's actually deflationary. But I'll tell you the month-on-month impact which has come largely from commodity prices. Of course, sugar has fallen by 0.7 month-on-month, and overall food products have also fallen by 0.5%, 0.5% month-on-month. But look at the fall in the manufactured products. Cotton textiles month-on-month have fallen by 1.27%, and they carry a big weight. They're 2.5% of the index. Man-made textiles have fallen by about 1/3%. Other things that have fallen are leather, and leather products have fallen by about 0.68. What's risen actually is non-metallic minerals. Chemical products which have a big weight are flat. from September to October. And there is a minor increase in iron and semis and in basic metal products, which also has a big weight of 10%. That's risen by 0.3%. But nevertheless, because of rubber and plastics falling, again, rubber is about a 3% weight, rubber and plastic products, that's fallen by a minor minus 0.07. Textiles is obviously big, and that's also fallen month on month. All this probably is also a reflection of the global commodity prices. Cotton prices have crashed globally, and that would also be impacting the month-on-month fall in prices. Aditi, okay, let me come to Vivek at this point in time, since we will be perhaps getting some kind of global inputs as well. Vivek, what do you think at some point when you look at a number like minus 1.4, the Reserve Bank should start worrying about growth? Would this come home as a huge deflationary, or at least the start of a deflationary turn?
Deflationary
is a strong word.
Okay. But one thing it definitely ensures is that this disinflationary impulse, and it's just not about India, but across Asia, we are seeing the disinflationary impulse across the Asian markets, and in the sense that yes, it has a bearing on monetary policy at the margin, and I think I'm not talking about the exact number, but I'm talking about the trend that we are seeing, the disinflation trend. Should make RBI at least dovish in its stance, in its language over a period of time, and it should make RBI, it provides some comfort in terms of meeting its targets that it has. So,
okay. All right. Finally, if I can get from all three of you, what are your expectations from the Reserve Bank itself? Aditi, looking at the data now, where do you pitch their next move and how much?
I still think that the rate cut cycle is going to start in April 2015 with 50 basis points of cuts.
The 50 basis cut?
Total of 50 basis points over two policies.
Okay. Gaurav?
Well, I think between Feb and April, I would think sooner than later, because if they have to act, it's always better to, monetary policy works with a lag. So it's better to do it in Feb, perhaps start with Feb and then follow up in April. So a total of 50 in 2015, likely to be in the first half of the calendar.
Vivek?
So our house view is that they are still on a prolonged pause. We expect them to be on a prolonged pause, and we assign some probability of them acting in the second half of 2015, but that's not our base case. In fact, we expect them to be on a prolonged pause for a meaningful period of time.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, all three of you, for joining us. As you can see, the economists read the RBI's mind as not taking the WPI number into account too seriously or too heavily when it frames its monetary policy. But this is a number which will hit home that inflation has fallen rather sharply in the manufactured products segment. Yes, it is wholesale. Yes, the Reserve Bank wants to attack food inflation as well, which has been the double-digit monster for the past 5 years or so. Incidentally, this food inflation number is about the lowest that we have had since January of 2012. That was some data our team is picking up. Clearly, okay, there it is, WPI food inflation number at the lowest level since January 2012. So even that monster has been somewhat curbed. Maybe the market will start expecting something from the Reserve Bank, but that is not indicated in the bond prices just yet. Maybe we want to check the stock prices?
Yeah, I did actually. So, just like the bonds where we saw a little, it was unchanged. Even for the market, it remains almost unchanged. There's just a minor downtick that we've seen in the key indices, but it's just a few points. points. So if you see the chart, you'll see that it's come off a tad bit from the highs. The mid-cap index also is off just a few points as well. And look at some of the stocks. One stock actually on the gaining side you might want to check out is Asian Paints. So that stock had suddenly spiked up and is now near those levels. Lupin is another stock which has gained quite a bit. And on the losing side, there's something like a Power Grid, Cipla and Axis Bank, which have lost just a tad actually from their session.